Good news, everybody. Julien Laurens back in the house. And the good news keeps on coming, my friend. The last 16 is here. We'll start with Brazil-Chile, one of the ties of the round, no doubt about that. And possibly, in Chile, the team that Brazil wanted to face least.
Yeah, for sure, and for a few reasons. Obviously, the first one is that Chile almost play at home as well, considering how much fans they've been having at their games. Secondly, because they're used to the weather, to the climate, to the heat as well, which is a big advantage when you see how European teams have done, for example, against the heat. And three, because the way they play in that 3-5-2 formation and the speed they play and all of that is clearly could be a problem for Brazil and the way Brazil play and the Scolari. So very, very fascinating contest.
You mentioned the Chilean pace. What decision should Scolari make in terms of midfield between Paulinho and Fernandinho? Because that seems to be the biggest selection dilemma he has.
No debate for me at all. Fernandinho is so much better than Paulinho. When Fernandinho came on against Cameroon, brought a lot to the team. And even in the Premier League this season, we've seen Paulinho had a very average season at best with Spurs. Fernandinho was outstanding with City, won the league. And he just has that extra creativity, that more box-to-box profile than Paulinho has shown so far. And I think Fernandinho, as we saw in the goal he scored against Cameroon, would definitely bring something more to the team.
So he's your key player for Brazil. Aránguiz is your key player for Chile.
Yeah, fantastic player. I thought had a great competition so far. He creates, he scores goals like we saw against Spain. And he gets ball back as well. He works hard for the team. He runs a lot like every Chilean player anyway. But you know, he belongs to Udinese. He's on loan to international in Brazil, so he knows those Brazilian players very well. He's used to play there. He knows the atmosphere and all of that. So I think that'd be a big advantage. Picked up a small injury in the last game, so he's a little down. I still think he will play though.
Okay, in terms of the physicality of Hulk and Fred, even though he hasn't had a glowing tournament, against the rather diminutive Chilean defence, that's an intriguing matchup, isn't it?
It is. However, they're small, but they're tough. They're really, really tough. And you could see so far in the competition that you don't mess with them, you know. And I think they dealt very well with Diego Costa, for example, against Spain, who you could see is probably the same shape and strength as Fred up front or Hulk. So I don't have any issues with them physically. And I think tactically, the way they're set up at the back, they will make sure that there always is a cover against Fred and against Hulk and against Neymar as well.
If that's the case then, and Fred and Hulk are neutralised, even more pressure on Neymar. He's the subject of your head-to-head in this game.
It is. It's basically Neymar against Chile for me and Neymar against Bravo, their goalkeeper. If they stop Neymar, if Bravo doesn't concede, I think they will win the game. And funnily enough, Bravo is just signed for Barcelona as well, so they'll be teammates come August when the season starts again. But yeah, it's as simple as that. If you stop Neymar from scoring or creating, then I think they win the game.
Okay, Julien, the late game, Colombia versus Uruguay. Two contrasting styles, really. Uruguay, one of the least attractive teams to watch. Colombia, probably one of the most.
Uruguay is so negative so far in the competition, even with Suarez and Cavani and Lodeiro, because they've got potential up front. Very negative, very solid and tough, and we see that it hasn't been pretty. Colombia, on the other hand, fantastic team so far. They had an easier group, which is fair to say compared to Uruguay, but still, James Rodriguez, Jackson Martinez, Quintero, Cuadrado, all of them have been brilliant.
It seems slightly odd to call James Rodriguez a breakout star because it's big money's changed hands for him. But he really is stepping up in this tournament, isn't he?
Incredibly so. And I know not many people watch French football and Ligue 1 and Monaco, but he's had the last 7 months incredible performances for Monaco. He was really their standout player. And I think he kept all that confidence with him going into the World Cup and the momentum as well. And we see him, that little chip he scored in his last game was just fantastic. He's so gifted technically, it's incredible.
He's the subject of your head-to-head battle in this game.
Because, again, it'd be simple. Colombia doesn't depend as much on him as Brazil with Neymar. However, if you quiet him, then you've done a big job to quiet Colombia, basically. And that's what Rios will have to do for Uruguay. We saw him against Rooney, against England, man-marking Rooney, and he did a very good job, despite the goal Rooney scored, but he did a very good job. And it'd be exactly the same. Rios is a bulldog. You know, he will never let a yard of space to James Rodriguez. And if James can free himself from Rios and have an impact on the game, then Colombia will win.
Are the key players for Colombia?
Well, I would go for Quintero, who's very similar in a way to James. He's left-footed as well, short, a lot of skills, pace. He will start on the bench, but he would be such an impact player when he comes on, like he did against Ivory Coast with a goal, that he'd be a key player in that game for sure.
Okay, what about Uruguay? Key player for them?
I would go for Lodeiro because he's been a bit disappointing at times so far in the competition, but he's had a good game against England where he linked up very well with Suarez and Cavani. He has to be the link between the midfielder and the defence and going forward. He's very talented, very good on the ball. He can pick a pass, he's got good vision, but he needs to be in the game for Uruguay to do something positive. Do
you think it's fair to say that Colombia are amongst the favourites in the tournament now?
I think they went from underdogs or like dark horse to clearly being able to win it. It's such a special competition, you can see. And again, they're at home. They've got 50,000 people every game following them. They're used to the heat and the climate, and they've got that incredible confidence in themselves that they can definitely win it.
Good stuff, Julien. Well, heading into the knockout stages, Marek Larwood was at the top of the predictions league. Let's take a look at his predictions for the first two in the knockout phase. He's gone for a 2-2 draw between Chile and Brazil, Julien, for Chile to go through on penalties. It sounds like a stormer. And he's gone for a rather more sedate affair in the other game, 2-0 to Colombia. It makes sense so far. If your team has been eliminated, by the way, it's obviously time to follow your second team. And if you haven't got a second team, why not check out Not France? Why not check out the Guardian's Adopt a Nation Interactive? You can find the link in the box below. They want a team that's going to stick around for a long
France
time in the
win
tournament. Yeah. Come on, Nigeria. That is just about it for today's show. Many thanks to Julien Laurens, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, before you go, buddy, quick prediction on Chile-Brazil?
2-1 Brazil.
2-1 Brazil. How about that? Let us know your prediction for that game in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more great World Cup content. Coming up on our next preview show, Andy Zoltzman back in the house, everyone. Yeah. Funny man that he is. He'll be joining us to look forward to Holland, Mexico and Costa Rica, Greece. So for that and much, much more content, check it out right here. See you then.